has been a great partner of ours for many, many, many years and very loyal. And he always puts us at the forefront of whenever he's about to do something. So he started talking about this probably 2 years ago and asking for meetings with his escrow officer, Kara, and Jen Weller on our sales team, and kind of telling us about this concept. And we all kind of looked at him like, you think this is going to take off? And it totally has. So I'm super excited to have him share with you guys the concept on a national level, on a local level. But before we dive into the nitty gritty, since we don't have enough thumbs up yet, I want us to find out what's the most interesting thing that's happened with Alan this summer.
Okay, Alan, tell us.
Well, on the 26th of July, I was in a plane crash up in Orcas Island, Washington, me and another guy, and we were up in a short takeoff and landing plane. We got a fuel line clog, had to make a U-turn, landed in the field, ran out of room, hit a fence, fell over the fence, and I broke my nose. My face was all bloody. So this is almost less than 2 months ago.
True story.
Dude.
We have a plane crash survivor.
I took an air ambulance to Washington, and just me and this other guy. He's fine. His plane is toast. But I can tell you with 100% certainty when I say I'm glad to be here.
Yeah,
I am glad to be here, and I'm glad to be here with you guys, and glad to be able to participate in something so dynamic. And
how terrified were you, Alan? Because listen, every time I get onto a plane, and I'm on a lot of planes, man, I travel 270 days out of a year. Right?
Yeah,
so that's a lot, right?
Yeah,
I'm constantly in a plane, and the concept or the idea of it going down never. Every time I fly, I think about it. Every time I fly, I tell everybody that I know and that I love them.
Aww.
I just do it before I get on the plane. I always do it, just because, right? And it's terrifying, man. Like when the plane goes bumpy, and I'm you know. So can you tell us a little bit about what that experience was like, and like maybe some of the things you were thinking about in the terror of it? Like I hope I'm not like traumatizing you by asking.
No, listen, I am more than happy to talk about it, you guys, because it was not my time. It was not my time, and I am supposed to be here. And so what this did to me, the whole thing took about 58 seconds. It was literally when we had to do a U-turn and land in a field with the clogged fuel line. And the pilot, my friend Steve, handled it flawlessly, frankly. But you know what it's done for me, just in a nutshell, is I'm thinking, what do I need to do in my life to find my purpose? What is my purpose? Why am I here? Really to help define that. I was thinking about this stuff for a long time, but what is my purpose, and what's my drive, and what's my passion, and how can I make a difference? And so it all happened so fast. I didn't even see my life pass before my eyes. But my whole goal, and I wrote a whole poem about this because I'm corny, a little sappy.
I'm corny too. I like haikus. I like poetry. My minor's in poetry, by the way.
Okay.
I never knew that.
Well, I will share it with you, and I can share the whole presentation with anybody who's interested. But I wrote a poem called Stronger.
Would you read it to us right now?
Okay. It's kind of long.
So how long is it?
Oh, it's a little long, but essentially to have it in a nutshell, it's really basically I'm thankful for everything in life.
Okay.
I realize that death is part of life. Amen. I realize that I have one opportunity to make the best life that I can while my soul is still on this planet, and that I don't see failure as failure or anything of that sort. I literally see another opportunity to be stronger. That's it in a nutshell. So I can share it another time, but
give us some claps, guys. We need to see some claps in the chat here, because this is like, I got chills right now. I don't know about you, but
so powerful. You know, this was part of, I'm a passionate guy. And this was part of my passion, because what we're talking about today we call it co-living. I call it workforce housing, right? But whatever we call it, there is a housing crisis, and people need our help.
Yep.
We are in a position with our minds and our spirits and everything to do good for the universe and do good for our fellow people. And what we're going to talk about is not only doing good, but doing well at the same time. How do we do good and do well together?
So, Alan, let's talk a little bit about the housing crisis, because I agree with you. We're in a housing crisis. And if you don't believe we're in a housing crisis, go to your local downtown. I don't care where you're watching this from right now. Go to your downtown. Go look up where the tent city is in your city. There is a tent city in your city. It doesn't matter where you live in America. There's rampant homelessness right now all across the country.
Yes.
And it's
9,800 in Maricopa County.
It is heartbreaking.
And for every two that enter, one exits. So do the math on that.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, you can't even end the homeless problem if it's a 1-to-1, and we're a 1-to-2.
It's 1-to-2, and then on top of that, right? On top of that, it's affordability is just like it's gone to crap. Rents are skyrocketing.
Yep.
And then the reason why I have this perspective is I traveled through Europe with my family over the summer. That's why I wasn't on a couple of these title talks with you guys. And I saw the way that other countries live. I saw how they live in Europe. It's co-living.
Yeah.
It's co-living. So when you've got high density, small areas, skyrocketing inflation, skyrocketing expenses, affordability is down. When you have these situations, co-living becomes the solution. It does. Generational living becomes the solution. Co-living becomes the solution. And so I think that, Alan, 2 years ago, you were prophetic in your...
Oh, we kind of thought he was whack a little bit. Like, we were like, really? People are going to live together?
They say about every person who's forward thinking, every person who has an idea that is innovative and forward thinking, they say is crazy until you become impressive and genius. Right. So you're crazy yesterday. Today you're a genius. Tomorrow you're gonna be saving people. Right. So talk to us a little bit about what you have going on, brother.
Okay, excellent. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my PowerPoint slides.
We're going to try this. We have never done a share screen on the podcast before. So guys, bear with us for a moment.
So I won't be able to see you guys, but there's a few slides. And my goal here is not to get through all the slides, because let everybody know that we have links for this presentation. I can send you the whole presentation. The goal is to have a complete, well-rounded conversation about what is the crisis and what do we do as human beings to do good and do well to help solve this crisis.
Love it.
Okay, cool. So let me pop over here to this presentation. I hope everybody can see this.
Yeah, we're good. It's perfect.
There we go. Okay, so this is what we're talking about, and this is really our simple why. Everybody has to have a why in life, and this is our why about doing good and doing well. And this is literally a conversation starter. I really want to honor Jamil, because Jamil, I'm new in meeting you, but I see the empire that you have put together. And by the way, that picture, you look different than the picture now. You're much thinner than this picture is.
Yeah,
but
I'm missing a goiter.
Okay.
I don't even know what a goiter is.
It's when you have hyperthyroidism and your neck explodes.
So I tried to find another picture, but the reason I put this up here, Jamil, is just to acknowledge you. And I'm not trying to be brown nosy, and your greatness and how you are making a difference in the life of so many people with all these different things. But the biggest thing that I see is about mindset. And when you're talking about upholding the values of integrity, just awesome.
He met you for the first time yesterday, by the way, and he's captured this by watching you online in the community, which I think is spot on.
I've seen your videos, and again, I am so honored to be a part of this and create something together. So real quick about mindset, and anybody interrupt me at any time. So there's a great group called Landmark Education. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of it.
Absolutely. They're fantastic, by the way.
Fantastic. And I'm a graduate of Landmark, and there's a famous saying is, We don't know what we don't know, and we don't even know we don't know it. Right? We don't know what we don't know. We don't even know we don't know it. And so all of us have these blind spots into our life. And so together, what we're hoping is that you are a master at so many different creative things from a real estate standpoint. What we're looking to do is open people's minds to create a long-term, I say handsomely cash flowing, passive investment model. So I kind of look at this as a kind of a slow dime perhaps versus a fast nickel. Okay. So just a tad about me. I spent 22 years in corporate America, sold almost $1 billion worth of real estate here. Wow. In 2008, 2012, I had about 470 houses at auction with Canadians. Go Canada. I'm not Canadian, but I know you are, Jamil.
He's got the flag.
I'm repping Canada today. I got my beaver on my.
I've been investing since 2002. I teach classes in investing, and I've put together a one-stop shop business model. These are the properties that I've purchased or bought around the Phoenix metro area. And
he's got some credibility, folks.
And this is just something that's near and dear to my heart. I'm not any better than anybody else, ever. We're all humans. These are some skills that I have that I look forward to sharing with my fellow humans. Okay. So just kind of getting into this, and again, please interrupt me if you need. We have a lack of supply, and it's caused by a lack of access. And if we look at the national picture, and this is part of a big study, the Arizona ranks number 18 in the nation on being able to afford a house based on our wages. And at the end of the day, this is a study from the National Low Income Housing Coalition. Look at this stat here. No state or metropolitan county can any full-time minimum wage worker, I'm assuming $12 to $15 an hour, afford a modest 2-bedroom rental. And these workers cannot afford a 1-bedroom apartment in 91% of U.S. counties. Now, I know that some of the people we're talking to are across the country, Yahoo. And we can get more specific. We can get a whole study for you if you want. You can click on this link below, and we'll be more than happy to get you this whole study. But
yeah, drop a comment in there, guys. Tell us where you're from. We want to know today.
Yeah, we'd love to know where you're from.
$1,000 a year is low income. Is Alan? Do you have a stat? I think Dennis is right, but what's your stat on what constitutes low income?
Well, we're the workforce housing model. And again, before I move on, I appreciate all the recognition, you guys, but I have to do a shout out to Pad Split because Pad Split, we're going to be talking about them later, but they are the national leader in workforce housing, co-living, and we're going to be talking about them later. But they're the ones who actually inspired me. Good. And I helped create a business model around.
I'm a big fan of Pad Split, so I'm, of course.
And Ellis, I think, is watching. I saw him give
Ellis is on the call. Hi, Ellis. We have a few other friends on as well, but we're looking at $15 to $30 an hour, mainly the kind of the working poor, if you will.
Got it.
Yeah.
Now, so to get some more,
$15 to $30 an hour is a working poor.
It is.
Think of that, guys.
Well, it is. I mean, like when we go down to St. Vincent de Paul and we serve dinner, it's for the families of the working poor because they can afford kind of to live, but they can't afford extras like food.
When I worked at Taco Bell, I made $5.35 an hour. There were people who worked with me at Taco Bell who were supporting households at $8 an hour.
Yeah. So
$7.
We are. I think again, the way I'm approaching life is I'm blessed. I've done well, and I want to give back. This is part of my heart, and we'll talk about this. This Foundation for Senior Living that has a lot of seniors that they house. There's 270,000 houses that are short. The median home price is up by 60%. There's a 3.5% to 4% difference in mortgage rates between what people have and now. There's a wage inflation disparity. There's a depleted housing stock. All these factors come together, but to alleviate the crisis, we need to increase supply, and we need to create non-traditional forms of housing. This is part of the solution, you guys, and this is one of the reasons I'm so excited not just to talk about this in the Phoenix metro area, but to through Jamil's leadership to start having this conversation across the country.
And you have never had this conversation in your community yet before today, correct?
No, I literally just dipping my toes.
Yeah.
Because, Rahima and I have been building low-income housing in Arizona for the last 2 years. And we do it, we sell under market value. Like we do it as a service, right? Like our profits are very low. We basically keep the guys working. We make a little bit of money, basically what we would make if we'd put our money in a interest bearing account, right?
Yeah.
We try to we leave the profits in the property so that whoever buys it, they can get a great deal.
Which is amazing.
A family can afford it, right? And so we do that because we are fortunate. We're blessed to be able to do it. But
you also like highest and best use of the asset.
100%.
Which falls into that category.
Absolutely. And I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I wanted to get through some of these numbers, if you will, because I have a lot of slides. And again, I don't want to get to the slides, but
no, let's go.
This is a really scary slide here. Okay, now I remember I bought 470 houses at auction, and I checked this number, and right now there's 628 places with a notice of default, right? And
look at 2021. We had 99 homes go to auction for the entire year.
Yeah. And this right now, this is a coming storm, you guys. And when we talk about economy, this is a chance to localize it. And I'm sure there's other pain across the country. But this is a couple slides to kind of dimensionalize it. And if anybody wants to get this list, they can click on that link below. So
who's calling the NODs right now? Because these people need help.
These are all NODs, you guys. And so there's 781. This is across everything. And this is literally right from the tax records. And we can get that. But these are 781 people who've stopped making their payments. And the bank ran out of patience. And they're possibly going to be going in hard luck. So what is really important here, from my perspective in bringing this up, is that see this area here. When I bought the 470 houses from 2008, this was the epicenter, because this is the area where people do not have that disposable income, and they're either going to eat or they're going to make their mortgage payment.
And for whoever who's saying bubble here, guys, 781 units doesn't constitute a bubble. Okay. No. What it does is it's like that inventory is going to get absorbed in a minute. What the real question is, where are they going to go?
Yep.
Yes, exactly, Jamil. So that's where I had some observations about this. Okay. The vast majority of these households have equity. This is different from 2008 when everything was a short sale, everything was undervalued, right? And then the second piece is these people have received their notice of default, so their credit is compromised. So our action item as a group, our charge, our goal, our mission, in my opinion, the opportunity is for us to create a win-win scenario for these households to use creative financing and our creative acquisition strategy. So I'm sure that these are all things you've taught many, many times, Jamil, and you mentor. This is a chance for everybody who's listening to make a difference in their community by coming up with ways to help these people, because where are they going to go?
I love Dennis's question. What can I do to help?
Well, Dennis, good on you. We're going to talk about that. Okay. So I'm explaining a little bit, and you can click on this link here. I want to just do a shout out for Fidelity, because I got this list, and I'm just showing everybody my email. September 18th, I emailed Jen, and by September 19th, I got the list. There was a 24-hour turnaround time. And Jamil, at your meetup last night, you said 10 ways to use a title company.
To make another $250,000 a year that's like right in your wheelhouse and right under your nose that you don't even know about.
And this is a skip trace file. I immediately got it. I have it. I can start making phone calls. And what I want to share with everybody is that if somebody wants this information, I'll share it. It's not mine. It belongs to Maricopa County. And if we can make the difference for one person, that's a start. When I bought the 470 houses, we kept a lot of people in their house, and they ended up repairing their credit, and we got it back. But I see there's a lot going on now. So we just have to be in the moment and do what we can. Okay, so how do we do good and do well? Well, we create non-traditional forms of housing. And the first part, and Dennis, wherever you are, good on you. We care enough to collaborate and use our creative skills to become part of the solution. Okay? So I want to give you a success story with my clients, Jordan and Alex, who just moved from New York. Okay? He's a VA buyer. He makes $26 an hour at a local company called HelloFresh.
Yeah, I order that all the time. I just got a delivery from them about an hour ago.
It's awesome. Look at this guy. He's cut. This is his wife.
I'm
He's
so glad it's not fat. Otherwise, I would have started canceling my orders.
So this is a house in Buckeye. It's a brand new shiny penny, 1,850, three bathrooms, four bedroom. They locked him in. This builder locked him in at 4.875% on a 30-year fixed. The builder contributed $22,000 for the rate buy down. Okay, this is creating affordable housing.
Yes.
And this Century Homes is right here in Scottsdale where I live. They're a class operation. They put together a great house, but kudos to them because Alex and Jordan would have been out of luck as first-time buyers to buy a resale. Okay, so I mean,
400,000 is like below our median sales price in Maricopa County for sure, and that interest rate doesn't exist today. So
no, they bought it down. So I'm bringing this up. I'm a very positive person because that's just me, right? Now, here's what a lot of people are doing for what they think are affordable living. So with this build to rent, raise hands if you're familiar with the build to rent. We lead the nation in these build to rent houses.
Yeah.
And I actually call them mushroom homes.
Why?
Okay. Because
what do they do? Are they eating mushrooms? Are they growing mushrooms? What are they doing?
So this is a house. It's 1,236 square feet, and we're seeing it pop up all over the Phoenix metro area and the nation. Again, we lead the nation in this, and these houses are renting for between $23.28 and $55.09 a month. This is not affordable housing. It's not.
So you've got to be on mushrooms to be able to think that that's a good price, or what?
You're not the one who calls them mushroom houses.
What I'm saying is that the market is adjusting. The builders are adjusting to get their cash flow, but this really is not affordable housing. Here's another example. There's all these. I think some of these apartments going up are kind of ugly. And they're all over the Phoenix metro area, and these are one bedrooms.
But why are they mushroom houses?
Yeah, I still don't get it.
Well, the mushroom houses are these because there's 14.
They're brown.
Yeah, this is
popping up everywhere.
Oh, they're like weeds.
Yeah, well, the reason is they're putting 12 to 14 on per acre, you guys.
Oh.
And if anybody,
if you ever seen
how
mushroom fields,
they grow in clusters. Yep.
There's no garages. It's 12 to 14 an acre, and they're packing them in. So that's why I call them like a bunch of mushrooms growing.
That makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, so this is
your theory, though, too.
This is a reaction to the market, and some people think that this is affordable housing. Frankly, it's not, in my opinion. They're growing everywhere, but they're all over the valley. And if for the locals here, if you go off of the Camelback down the 101 corridor near the State Farm Stadium, and specifically at Camelback in the 101, you'll see a community. They're growing everywhere. We lead the nation in this, and this is helping the builders. It's not helping the workforce housing people.
Yep.
These are the apartments going in that are new apartments, and a lot of developers are getting small business loans and all this stuff to build these places. These are plentiful, but they're still not affordable. We talk about VRBO. Some people think that VRBO is the answer. Airbnb. We did $7.6 billion last year for Airbnb, and they contributed $650 million to the taxes raised in Arizona. And if we look at where these are at, Scottsdale, Phoenix, Mesa, Peoria, Gilbert, I filled a lot of
in affordable areas. You don't go on vacation to Maryville and buy and go risk I'm sorry, but you don't go get an Airbnb in Maryville. You get an Airbnb in Scottsdale. That's what happens.
I think the reason Glendale looked like that is probably for the Super Bowl. The
Sports.
Super Bowl.
Sports. Over there.
Yeah.
So I'm a firm believer in this model. And if this is a disruptor. And I actually think that pad split in this this workforce housing is a disruptor as well. That's going to be here to stay. But this works because the economics of it works. Even if a house is $30,000 a month, which I do have some clients with rentals, it's only $1,000 a night to sleep 12 during the winter. It makes sense, but it's not affordable housing. Okay, so let's transition then into what 3 options are. Okay, with workforce housing, we have a really clear mission. And again, does anybody have any questions, or do you guys want to make any comments?
No, you're good. Keep going.
Great. So our mission is to create unique, high-quality housing, and they're essentially boarding homes, okay, for low-wage earning individuals throughout the Phoenix metro area. And I extend this to those living across the country.
Yeah, because you guys are in like 29 markets already, right? Or 22?
25
Okay,
markets. And so people are not getting past the typical multifamily barriers to entry. So those apartments, you got 3 months of income, you have heavy security deposits, you've got massive credit scores, you've got all sorts of barriers to entry. Now, what this is now talking about is pad split. Okay, and again, Ellis is on the call, and I just want to reach out to Ellis and say thank you, because Atticus LeBlanc is the CEO of Pad Split, and it's a great company, and it's taking hold.
100%. I've had numerous opportunities to talk to Pace Morby, who is a friend of Atticus's, and you know, I truly believe that what Pad Split is doing right now is as disruptive as OfferPad and Open Door was to buying and selling
5 years
homes.
ago, 6 years ago.
I think what Pad Split is doing right now is as disruptive as that to the rental industry.
In a positive way.
Exactly. So this is, it started in Atlanta, and that's where Atticus has the home. And a little known, kind of a small fact is that Mark Cuban is actually an investor in this company. Love Mark Cuban. For those who watch Shark Tank. So Pad Split is currently in about 25 cities, and there are over 7,000 rooms. Okay, wow. So these are markets that are either in or are going into. All right. So again, if people want to click on the link, they can get more information. Now, what did I do to address this? Because I like Denny, who's on the call, or I said, well, we have a crisis. What do we do about this? So what I did is then created I'm an investor for many years. I teach classes in passive investing, and I created a business model for somebody if they want to do Pad Split, if they want to create a co-living model, we have it all locked and loaded.
So he basically created a turnkey system for anybody that wants to do this anywhere in the country.
Anywhere in the country.
Wow.
So this is, what I created in Arizona. We got property management. We have K10 construction. Of course, here's Fidelity National Title.
I'm telling you, we were his first call, and I was like, this seems kind of whack. Like, you're going to live with somebody that's a perfect stranger. And then I was like, but I get in the car with a perfect stranger every time I take an Uber.
Right.
So maybe that's like not such a wild idea.
Yeah. So this is where I took this on, not only out of knowing that it's a disruptor and really knowing that it's a wave of the future, but knowing that it can match with my values,
which is a power team, essentially.
This is the power team. So now, with this said, so this is what is happening in Phoenix. So this is the Pad Split.
Yeah, bring it up. Yeah, let's see it.
In Phoenix right now as we speak. Okay, so there's over 100 rooms across 16 homes, and we just launched in March. We're at about 95% occupancy.
95% occupancy.
Yep.
Who can say that about their rental portfolio?
I spoke with Ellis this morning, and Ellis, you can confirm this, but we're at about 95% occupancy, and there's another 200 rooms coming in about the next 60 days.
So just to give you an idea, I have a beautiful Airbnb in one of the most incredible neighborhoods in Phoenix. swimming pool, half an acre lot, 4-bed, 4-bath, 4,000 square foot.
Party house.
Yeah, it's a great place. 60% occupancy.
Yeah. Yep. So we're gonna get
location.
I got all of it, but I'm at 60%.
60% for a short-term rental is pretty good, Jamil, actually. But you know, that's a different model. So again, back to this affordable thing. What are we going to do? This is one person, one room, all utilities paid for. These are clean houses. There's no guests. There's no smoking. And one of the things that Pad Split does that I think is fantastic is they pay for telehealth for the members. They call the tenants members. They have healthcare.
It's like a club. It's a club.
Yeah, they have healthcare. So this is this $15 to $30 an hour person who moved in from another area. They can't afford regular rentals at all, and this is giving people an option. So that's
amazing.
All the time, you guys. Okay. And again, hats off to Pad Split and Ellis. This is the fastest.
They just updated the numbers because they've changed since your call with him this afternoon, and those are now on the screen. So I love that. Thank you, Ellis.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ellis. So basically, this is Phoenix. Now, this is Kansas City. Okay. So they launched Kansas City just a couple months ago, and Kansas City is also growing. So the reason I bring this up, and again, this is 25 markets. If you're listening on this call, and again, you're part of this thinking, what can I do? Pad Split can be coming to your city. They have to do the analysis and see what the absorption is going to be and all this. But you can be a part of the solution wherever you are, folks. Wherever you are.
And Jamil teaches you go where it works too. So yeah. I actually think, and tell me if I'm wrong here, but there's markets it's working, 25 of them. That's something to consider.
You play where there's traffic so you can get hit.
You know what? You're talking about an accident, Jamil, and it's a little close to home, but so let's get more.
No traffic in the air that day, though.
Let's get more specific, okay? Now, so you have option one. If somebody wants to invest in Pad Split, you can convert existing rentals which are underperforming. And this is my commercial for Ben Stewart, 17-time world kickboxing champion. He bought 19 a home and native land. But he bought 19 homes at auction in 2010 through me, about an average price of $35,000.
Wow.
He was making, they're mostly in Maryvale. He's making about $1,250 a home, or about $6,200 on his portfolio. He took out an $800,000 hard money loan, approximately, okay, to completely redesign each home. And he has the remaining 5 homes to be converted. And currently, of what he has, 95% of them are rented. Now, his at 100% occupancy, which we will hopefully get to 95%, when the 5 houses are rented, he'll be making about $7,500 a month gross, times 5, or about $37,000 a month. So if you look at that beta between $6,250 a month and $37,000 a month, this is like right up the alley of Jamil and how you talk about, hey, McFly, right? What are we doing here? Let's make some money. And so this is an example. I just took a shot of the 2 houses of what they look like. This is right off of Zillow. This is a house on Flower. This is a house on 32nd, right near GCU, right near you. Okay, and there's another one on Medlock. So what happened to the houses? This is 32nd Street. This house was, this is one of the very first houses I bought.
Who renovated them?
K10 Construction. Great partner.
Is that your vendor? Is it Pad Split's vendor?
Well, Pad Split recommended him to me, and then we went full in because Ben said, I'm doing 5 houses. I'm going to take out $800K, and I'm getting this done. And literally this morning, I was at the last house on Medlock that's going to go live next week. But awesome. I wanted to show you some actual examples. So this is an 8.4. It's literally spitting distance from GCU, and this is the big kitchen. They completely gutted this house. and it's an 8.4 and 100% occupied.
What are they getting for that one?
He's averaging about $7,500 to $8,000 a month. This is one on Desert Cove, which is right near 32nd Avenue and Cactus. That, you know, these are total gut jobs. And so that's where the Spencer came in and did the architectural designs and finished it soup to nuts, and is working with me and with Patty at Provident Partners to get these things converted. This is the
we had a good question too on this. Like, people are curious, like, what kind of houses do they look for that make sense in this model?
Yeah.
Right. Yes. And I know you guys can speak to this at a very high level.
So I have a slide here in a minute, but I'll answer this. According to Atticus, the CEO, he said, do an 8-bedroom, 3-bath, or go home. Because if you have 3 baths as a minimum and you can get 8 bedrooms out of it, that's when you're really getting that multiple. So wait,
they're looking for something that has 8 bedrooms? Because that's kind of hard to find.
We're looking for a 4-3, perhaps.
Okay.
That you turn into an 8-3.
Yeah, so all the living areas go. So the only common area is the kitchen. And you can see that these are not slums. These are places that have pride of ownership, that people are going to be are happy to be at. We've had really good retention of people so far.
What about laundry rooms? You got laundry rooms in there?
We have laundry. Each on Ben's houses, each room has its own refrigerator. Each room is at least 8 by 10. It has to have ingress and egress. You have
like locks on all the doors and like
little padlocks on each of the doors.
Each door has its own electronic lock. It's very secure. But if you have 8 bedrooms, then some of these actually are ensuite, like on Desert Cove. So Desert Cove, there was a room that's renting for $375 per week. Ben was getting about that for the whole house before, and that's the master with its own bathroom. So that's so this is happening, and it's realistic. So these are houses.
I love Nas. She was just like me. I'm like, how the freak can people live together?
So,
like,
so Nas says people are crazy. So, and that not
she's
all people
right,
are,
but I
some
mean,
people are crazy. And so, how are we screening, right? Because let's just unpack it for a second, right? Because I did student housing at my place across from GCU, and I'm not expecting mental illness or like, you know, situational problems or whatever. I'm expecting students, but the people who don't have the stability of a home, and I'm not saying that it's going to be crazy people. I'm just saying that if there's no stability of the home, there's going to be a portion of folks, a small portion of folks that have some substance abuse, mental illness. How are we screening against that? Or what's
such a good question. I didn't mean to interrupt you. So this is where Pad Split works in conjunction with Provident Partners, the property management company, okay, that managed my investment properties for 20 years, okay? So Pad Split does the background screening of these people. Pad Split, think about Pad Split is like an Airbnb, VRBO. They're attracting the people. They're doing the background check, okay? And then Patty works hand in hand with them to get them into the property just to check them out and make sure they're good. So there's I think what the learning so far, because if we wouldn't have been able to have this conversation in February of this year because we didn't have any things going. Now it's taking off, right? So what we're finding is that people you have different age levels. Some of the average people that are staying in pad splits across the country are, you know, the avatar is a single 40-year-old man, but you also have a fairly high.
Me?
Yeah.
Really? Well, you're not single.
Well, if I was, if she kicked me out, I'd be the dude, right?
Like only dudes in one house? Like, do you separate it? Is it dudes and chicks? Like, if you just single 40-year-old dudes, do you pair with 25-year-olds?
Well, you know, again, we have to be cognizant of fair housing, right? But you have men and women.
But do you? I mean, this is kind of a different model.
It is, but again, it's a fair housing model open to everybody. And so this 32nd Street is right down the street. So
it's like a bit of a dating service too.
What we're finding, didn't mean to cut you off, is that people are happy. People are thankful that they have an option. And I think that, they say necessity is the mother of invention. People are happy that they have an option. That is
because the
viable.
only other option is a hotel.
Well, even hotels, if you look in extended stay America, those are, $75 a night.
Yep.
If you take these properties, these are $35 a night. People can pay by the week. And so Pad Split does collects all the money. It's all an app. They're actually advertising on buses now. They advertise on different websites. And so basically they're handling that part. So this is part of what I'm going to be talking about, is that this is a team effort. This isn't necessarily something somebody can go out and literally do on their own. It's going to take.
It's turnkey, and actually, you guys fix all the problems too. So when you're talking about tenants not getting along, they go in there and fix it. So as an investor, you don't get the headaches from the landlord calls.
Right. So when Dario said, sounds like a halfway house. Well, Dario, a halfway house is those are criminals. These are
working professionals.
Working professionals. It's a different demographic. Not that I have anything against criminals or halfway houses or whatever. Just do your thing. But this is a different situation. I'm sure halfway houses are also lucrative, but that's not the business model we're talking about.
We are looking at, I don't know the exact number, but I think the numbers are staggering on how many people are in this level of income. And so what I can tell you with our experience so far is that people are grateful and they're getting along. I was with Patty Hatton from Provident Partners this morning at Ben's house on Medlock. She said that her and her husband had to go and unclog a toilet. One of the members, was inconsiderate and left a what in the toilet. So they had to take care of that. So
as an investor, do you want to deal with that?
No. So this is where for 8%, and I'll get into some numbers in a minute, 8%, the Provident will take care of all this stuff. Okay. So this is option one, which is to convert. And these are beautiful examples from my man, world champion, Ben Stewart. Now, this is option two. Okay. And this is where I get involved in a more direct way, because I'm a broker, I'm a realtor, and I can buy these houses, whether we're going to do them via the wholesale technique or whether we're going to do them retail, it doesn't matter, because we can get these houses. So this is option two. So for my clients, Brent and Jose, this is on 105th Avenue.
Actually how this started. So let's go to the basics, right? When you first identified that you wanted to go after this, we started with the data. And we did a bunch of research on finding properties that were outside of HOAs, that were close to hospitals, that were close to schools, that might fit into this model.
Can I just throw a monkey wrench into this conversation right now?
Please.
I love monkeys. I love monkeys.
Look. So Airbnb comes, VRBO comes, right? And all of a sudden, now we've got legislation in Atlanta that says no more vacation rentals. I have a beach house in LA. I can't rent out I can't do VRBO or Airbnb on my beach house. It's empty unless I'm staying there.
Why?
Because because LA County decided to make it illegal. Let me ask you this: zoning, right? Zoning is going to become an issue, right? We're not
challenge.
We're not complying with zoning right now, right? Because we've got multiple families. It's like basically multifamily and single family. How are we scooting around zoning? How are we dealing with this legality issue? And will it turn into something that people today invest in? And then, like for instance, my friend Pace, right? He bought this gorgeous mansion in Atlanta, Georgia, that was originally Airbnb. When they banned Airbnb, they said no. So now he's turned it into nursing houses, and he's doing well with it. But I'm just wondering, will zoning become a thing, or will this become like a problem? Will the neighbor start saying, "Yo, dude, I got 13 people living next door. What's happening over here?"
Jamil, I want to acknowledge you for asking that perfect question, and to be very candid with you. These are the before pictures of this house. Before we started construction, we went to the city of Phoenix on another issue, and we talked about the zoning, and they said that any time you have more than 6 unrelated people, more than 6 unrelated people in a home in a residential neighborhood, it is classified as a boarding house. Now, with that said, a boarding house can only be on commercial land, which is why I actually have an option 3 that I'm going to discuss in a minute.
Wow.
And this is City of Phoenix only, so it's going to vary.
Phoenix, they're all kind of in the same. So the solution here, okay, is that Pad Split. I went to Charles, who's the general counsel at Pad Split, and he knows the general counsel at Airbnb. And from a legal standpoint, it is very, very, very rare that there is a zoning infraction. What is more common is that you have noise, trash, landscaping, and parking. And what the way to approach it is that if you take care of those things,
property management.
Right, exactly. If you take care of those things, the chances of you getting a quote unquote zoning violation are almost non-existent.
Right. You get a Pad Split involved and they're handling the property management of it, then now you don't have to deal with any of the nuisance situations.
Right. So here's what we did is we talked to Charles and we said, Charles, what do we do? Because this is before we started construction. These are the before pictures. And he wrote something into the Pad Split host contract. It's a little addendum saying that Pad Split will indemnify the host if there is a zoning issue.
Whoa,
now,
that's a big deal.
Holy moly.
So this is you guys, this is where my passion is. And maybe some people think I'm a pain in the behind, but I'm an investor. I represent investors, and you asked an extremely valid question. Wow. So we'll talk about
it too. You talk about stuff that makes you like not sleep at night.
Listen, I ask the real questions.
It's a great question. So basically, what we're doing is we have amended the contract, and so Pad Split is also working with Atlanta and all that. There's a lot of legal changes. If you look in California, they're allowing zoning changes to allow more housing to be built, to address affordable housing. So while that may happen sometime soon, in the meantime, if you operate a good house and it's well maintained, and it's the chances of something like that happening are very, very slim. Now, you need to get permits for construction and all that stuff, so that's a different topic. But we handled that, and Pad Split, to their credit, was very supportive and very understanding, and they've been down that road. So we're not creating this business model new, because we're going on the shoulders of what Pad Split has already been doing since 2018, right? What we're doing now is we have this overlay in this template in the Phoenix metro area, and that's where my expertise and my team comes in, because we know what to avoid. So at the end of the day, you're taking this house, and look at this house now.
2 fridges.
Yes.
A lot of food for people that maybe are traveling.
Damn, look at all those pantries.
Right. So does this look like halfway housing? Does this look like slum housing? Does this look like... So when you mentioned earlier in the call, Jamil, higher and better use, I fundamentally believe that this is not only a higher and better use, but this is working in with doing good and doing well. And so there are 9 rooms occupied on this property right now, and people have a really comfortable place. It's a 1/4 acre lot.
I call this ethical and compassionate use, to be honest. Like, I think this is how we reevaluate the situation that we're dealing with respect to this housing crisis. And we put people that can't afford to live in a home that looks like this, and they pay a couple $100s a week to live there. Like, give me a break.
And it's also cash flowing so much more positively.
You raise, and look, it's good for the investor, because look, if I own this house, right, and I'm getting the cash flow, I'm with it. If I'm a resident living in this house, and this is what I get to walk into, this is my living room, this is my kitchen, this is my area, my common area. I got the stainless steel appliances, I got these gorgeous, shaker cabinets, granite countertops, all the things. I feel better. I'm living better. I'm elevated energetically. Now I can go out there and do something to my life, for my life.
Jamil, bingo. Because what the word I think about that comes into my mind so often is a word called stabilization.
Amen.
Okay. Because people, listen, life is tough. And there's so many people that are less fortunate. But if somebody moves out of the quote unquote inner city and gets a job at the Home Depot or at, McDonald's that's paying, $20 an hour now, or at wherever, right? They can improve their life, they can stabilize. And then ultimately where I will be involved is we can get these people out of these houses into a longer term rental. Then ultimately they're going to build their credit. Pad Split reports to credit agencies positively.
Yeah, positively rent.
And then they can maybe buy their house one day. So one of the videos we have that Pad Split has is a member who went through that exact thing. He was down on his luck. He got into the property, he stabilized, and now he actually is a host for Pad Split.
That's
right?
awesome.
It's just like when I was buying the foreclosure houses and we were able to keep people in and they can buy their house back. So again, these are things, in my opinion, when people come to me and want to invest and they say, well, do I do long-term, short-term, multifamily, whatever? I think that this is the best way to put money.
Let's cut to that because
we're close to time.
Okay, I want to take a minute and go over option 3.
Can work with you.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I want to go through option 3 real quick. And this was Spencer. We came up with an option to build houses. Okay, and what we would do is this is going to be a 12-12. So for some of the investors, for some of the team members on the call, what this is the basics of building a workforce housing development. Okay. We need C2 commercial land, but this is one level. There's a bunch of different iterations of this, but we can build this 2 stories and there could be 120 unit development.
Can you reconvert all this garbage commercial that's been sitting there with office that's not working right now, that's vacant? Can you convert that to housing?
You know what, Jamil? You're hitting the nail on the head again and again and again. That's you. With this is where if you scrape something and you start over and it's C2 commercially zoned land, you can build this.
But what if we just want to convert C2 commercial office into this? Can we do that?
It's all worth a try. And again, going back to the whole heart behind this,
it's a big deal.
This is huge for
this is a big deal. I think I'm going to do a search tomorrow for C2 commercial.
Commercial that's not
unoccupied.
Jamil, you're hitting, and this is why I'm so thankful for you and your expertise and your heart and your professionalism and your creativity, because this is exactly what I think is going to take to not only help this penetrate in the Phoenix metro area, but across the country.
Yep.
So we do that. Now, just real quick to wrap up, there's 13 success factors: location, no HOA, plenty of
answer Dennis's question. Like, this is what you look for, right?
Yes. This is kind of the buy box. You make improvements. So
screenshot.
I'm typically looking, and again, this whole presentation, I'll send it to anybody who wants it in a PDF. But basically, we don't put in a fireplace, a garbage disposal, no dishwashers. We're trying to find houses that have already had improvements, that you're basically dropping in walls. Okay. Again, this is the acquisition model. That's what I specialize in, but we'll do everything. And so each room is actually 8 by 10, but these 12 and number 13 is key, is a capable property management company is so important. Pad Split actually owns a property management company in the southeast in Florida. It's called Two Keys that they have in-house. They do a great job. I recommended Provident Partners Patty because that's been who has managed my houses for all of these years, and they do a great job.
That's part of the package too, at the end of the day, right? Like that's part of the turnkey package that you offer when they work with you.
Exactly. And so again, I just want to wrap up here, but I wanted to this is a bit of an eye chart, but just very quickly, 20% down on about a call it $345,000 purchase, 7.5% interest, about 30% is the cost. So you want to take about 30%, 15% for Pad Split. It's actually a little less, 8% property management, 7% overhead. So if you calculate your cost, call it 30%. Call it 8 rooms at an average of $235 a week. And I'm knowing going fast. And this is where I want to put out to everybody, I do this all day long. I would spend one-on-one time with you explaining this. We can go through this on a per house basis. We go out and figure out what the construction costs are going to be. You want a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 year pro forma, we'll do it. The net here is that about $48,000, and you look at about $3,800 a month cash on cash return. So if you take $45,000, divide that into your amount that you put down, which is $69,000, that's about 35%. Now, that's assuming 100% occupancy. I say that the normal number, and that's year one, right? The normal numbers are probably somewhere between 20 and 25% net cash flow. And then if you add on the total return on invested cash, you're adding on your depreciation, you're adding on your tax savings, it's going to come into a nice package at tax time of somewhere between 25 and 30% cash on cash return. Got to work with your CPA and all that. And with that,
wow.
How did we do?
Alan, look, we've had people in the comments say, God bless this man. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
Like there's people in the comments that are saying that you're doing God's work. God bless you. You're not doing something small, brother. You are doing something that's meaningful to not only people in the real estate investing space,
but it's
that
stable.
are looking for
stability.
Looking for that, returns.
Yeah.
You're doing something for human beings out there that are dealing with a really insurmountable situation with housing right now.
Yeah.
It's important. It's important. And this conversation is important. And so, from Dina and I,
thank you.
We're really grateful to you, brother. We're really grateful that you brought this opportunity to our community here. Would love to find out, how can we work with you more? How do people get a hold of you? What are your stats?
So on the last page there, and again, I'll send it and we can post that link.
Yeah.
So that link on there will come to me. It'll come to Ellis, anywhere in the country, and we'll one by one talk to people under your purview or auspices, Jamil. And we'll walk
they're going to come right to you. So what's your phone number? Give me your phone number, bro.
My number is 602. Let me go back to the screen. Can people see the screen?
No, we're good. We're no on screen. Oh,
okay. So my number is 602-421-1101. My email address is alan.davis@lovehombright.com. And I'm available 24/7, 365.
When he's not on the pickleball court.
I'm a broker. And as I say, I'm glad to be alive. Because I just every day I think, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But now this has really fueled a purpose that I had before, and to be able to collaborate with you both, and to have people be inspired by this, because this is going to take heart. It's going to take hard work. Yeah. It's going to take imagination. And it's going to take going outside the box, which from what I see, I don't know of anybody who goes outside the box more than you, Jamil.
I do
really.
My best. I do my best, but Alan, you got a wife and kids, bro?
I do. I've got a 29-year-old daughter in Nashville, a 24-year-old daughter in Chicago, and then my son Reed is here in Phoenix. And if anybody wants to see a rock and roll show tonight, his band is playing at the Nile. That's one of the things I'm going to be doing at 7:30. He's a drummer. He's like a John Bonham Jr.
The reason I asked,
but I'm
your kids should be proud of you, brother, and your wife should also be very grateful to have you as a man in their home. So thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for what you brought today. This was phenomenal. You lit us up. You gave people a lot to think about. And we love you, bro. Yeah,
absolutely. And I've had a few people put in the comments, how do I get the NOD list? So guys, you can always reach out to titletalk@fnf.com for any of the data related questions. If you are stuck on something and need a strategy, or you need to get connected on the escrow side, we are happy to help if you email titletalk@fnf.com.
My man. Alan
Thank
Davis,
you.
What a guy.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate you both.
Thank you guys for tuning to Title Talk.
Yes.
And we'll see you
2 weeks. And guess what we're going to be talking about?
What is that?
Another new topic for Title Talk.
Oh, maybe then. We'll see you guys.
1031s.
Peace.